Good morning, children. In our last class, in Air chapter part 2, we have discussed about the structure of the atmosphere. That is, those are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. And also we have discussed about the weather and climate. But at the end of today's class, you will be able to learn about the temperature and air pressure. So let's go ahead. Temperature. Children, what is the meaning of temperature? Yes, it is the degree of hotness and coldness of air is known as temperature. I repeat, the degree of hotness and coldness of air is known as temperature. It means, what do you understand? Air has some temperature. Okay. So the temperature which you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere. Okay. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between the day and night, but also from season to season, children. I repeat, temperature in the atmosphere changes not only between day and night, but also they change from season to season. For example, summers are hotter than winters. Okay. Another important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Do you know what is the meaning of insolation, children? Yes. In the textbook it is given that the incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. It means the amount of solar energy received by the earth. Sun generates or radiates an amount of heat, energy. Okay. That energy which we are receiving from the sun is called what? Insolation. Okay. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the poles. Have you seen the picture given in this module, children? Yes. Now tell me, what is the shape of the earth? Yes, it is spherical in shape. So the earth is not flat. It is having some curvature. So because of its curvature, the sun's rays are not falling on the earth evenly. The areas near the equator and the areas near the equator, they receive the vertical sun's rays. And the areas which are far from the equator, from equator to the poles, North Pole and South Pole, those areas they receive hardly any sunlight. That's why those regions are remained cool and covered with snow all around the year. Now do you understand, children, why the poles are covered with snow always? Yes. So therefore the temperature decreases in the same manner. It means if you go towards the poles, the temperature decreases, and you can see the water in which state, children? Ice or snow state. Okay. If the earth's temperature rises too high, it would become too warm for some crops to grow. Even we also can't tolerate in too much extreme hot conditions, children. Plants also we cannot support in this temperature. If too hot temperature cannot support any kind of crops. Okay, that's why deserts they'll be having sparse vegetation. That too, cactus, acacia and date palm trees you can find. And also temperature in cities is much higher than the villages, because cities, children, you can find all the concrete buildings and which is made up of metals and concrete, so that generate lots of heat. And also the roads which are made up of tar, okay, they also get heat up during the day very heavily. So that's what happens, children. This heat which is generated in daytime is released in during night time. That's why night times also they feel so hot, okay, where in cities. Also the crowded high-rise buildings in the cities trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities. That's why when compared to the villages, cities have high temperature. Okay. Yes, children, here you can see the instruments, weather instruments. How can we measure the weather? There are some instruments. First, let us see the first one, thermometer. This thermometer is the instrument which is helpful for measuring the temperature. That's why, see, when you have fever, you'll use thermometer, to measure your temperature, body temperature. Next one is barometer. Barometer is what, children? It is helpful to measure the atmospheric pressure. You are just feeling wonder, what is the meaning of atmospheric pressure? Soon we are going to discuss about this, children. Okay. So this is the barometer, which is helpful for measuring of the atmospheric pressure. Now the next one, rain gauge. So it's rain gauge you can say, or rain gauge you can say. This is the instrument which is helpful to measure the amount of rainfall which we get. For example, if it rained today, how much amount of rainfall we received, that can be measured through rain gauge. Next one, wind vane. Wind blows, we know very well, but from which direction to which direction it is blowing, we don't know. So with the help of wind vane, we can find the direction of the wind so easily. Okay? Yes. Now, one do you know also given children, the standard unit of the measuring temperature is degrees Celsius. That's why see 90 degrees, 100 degrees, 101 degrees we'll mention, no? That's what. The standard unit of measuring temperature is what, children? Degrees Celsius. It was invented by Anders Celsius. That's why it is named after Anders Celsius. On the Celsius scale, the water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. So the freezing point is what, children, for the water? 0 degrees Celsius. And the boiling point is 100 degrees Celsius. So at 100 degrees Celsius, water boils, and at 0 degrees Celsius, the water freezes. Now let's talk about the air pressure. Do you know what is the meaning of air pressure, children? Pressure means weight. Weight of the air. Air also occupies space, and air also having some weight, children. So you'll be surprised to know that air above us presses us with a great force on our bodies. Means above our head, children, above our head, we have air that presses us with a great force. But however, you don't feel it, no? This is because the air presses us from all the directions of our body. Even our body also exerts a counter pressure. Even the blood in the body, in our body, also having some air pressure, which is equal to the pressure in the air. That is why we don't feel so any kind of weight of the air for us. Okay. So air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the earth's surface. So on the earth's surface, the weight of air that is exerted on the earth's surface, that's called what? Air pressure. Okay, I repeat, the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the earth is known as earth's air pressure. So as we go up layers of atmosphere from troposphere to stratosphere, stratosphere to mesosphere, mesosphere to thermosphere, no? Like that, as you go up layers by layers above the surface, above the sea level, the pressure decreases. So if you keep on going height, the pressure decreases. Okay. And horizontally also, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air at a given place, children. Horizontally also we have some pressure, right? Air pressure. So that distribution of air pressure is influenced by which, children? By which one? Temperature of the air at a given place. So all the places temperature is not same, children. It's not equal. It may vary from place to place. So that belongs to what? Horizontal air pressure, distribution of air pressure. Okay. In areas where temperature is very high, the air gets heated and rises. You can see in this picture, see. The areas where temperature is very high, no, the air gets heated and rises. So this creates a low pressure area in that region. So low pressure is associated with the cloudy skies. You can see in this picture, in the down picture, see. So whenever you experience any low pressure, no, you can see this kind of weather conditions, cloudy skies and wet weather. It rains, okay. In areas having low temperatures, the air is cold and it is therefore heavy. In some areas, no, they'll be having low temperature. It means cool. So there the air will be cold and it is therefore heavy. The cold air is always heavy. So that's why, because it is heavy, heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. Okay? The heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. So high pressure is associated with clear and sunny skies. You can see down picture. You see one, children? Okay? So the air always move from high pressure areas to low pressure areas. Air always move from where, children? High pressure areas to low pressure areas. Yes. So we will conclude today's class with a do you know. Children, on the moon there is no air, children. Hence there is no air pressure. If air is there, we will be having air pressure. If there is no air, there is no air pressure. So that's why astronauts have to go to with a special suits over their children to protect themselves. You know, astronauts when they go to the moon, go on to the moon, no, they should wear some special protective suits. That's called space suit. So that space suit is filled with air, children. So when they go on the moon, if they do not wear those space suit, what happens, the counter pressure exerted by your body. I told your body also having some kind of pressure. So that counter pressure in from your body of the astronauts would make blood vessels burst. How the tire bursts, so the blood vessels in our brain, the body burst, and the astronauts would bleed and they would die. That's why if air is there, pressure will be there. If there is no air, there is no pressure. That's why when the astronauts they go to the space, not only on the moon, for any other planet also, they'll go with a special suit. Okay, children? So that's all for today. Thank you.